Alright, so this time I want to introduce a concept that I should have introduced earlier, which is about arguments. Okay, and arguments are information or data that gets passed from one function or from the function call into the function. And you've been actually dealing with them the whole time, I just haven't really explained them. You've probably seen, for example, these parentheses that we always have to make sure that they're there. And sometimes, when you call up a function that's already built into Arduino, we have parentheses there, and you have been putting in information. Okay, so you see it here. Here's the delay. Here's the information. Here's another function, and here's the information. There's two pieces of information in there, separated by a comma. Here's another one, and there's three pieces of information in here separated. Okay, so you've been dealing with it all the time, but now I need to show you how to actually do it. And it's not really that hard. It's really pretty easy. But let's do it. Let's do one. So I'm going to start off with a brand new sketch, and I'll do what I always do, which is copy and paste. So I'm going to copy my header information super fast, like that. Okay, I don't want to spend a bunch of time on this, but we're going to set up and loop. And I think this one even, oh, look at that, there's already a demo. We'll just take that, save some time, delete this junk here. And today is the 25th, and this is going to be about arguments. And again, I'll post it online so you'll be able to copy and paste it. We do need this information here. We're going to open up a serial port for sure. And what else do I need? I guess that's about it. I'll actually, I'm going to grab these two just to save myself from typing anything. And all right, we're ready to go. Let me get this guy out of the way. And we'll put this guy up here and spread it out a little bit. All right, so I think I'm going to start with doing an assignment from the text. And I'll just grab this one right here. I like this one. And we're going to do this problem a couple of different ways. And so let me get that out of there. And I'm going to put it right here so we can actually see the question. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Okay, we'll put the question right here. And split that up. Okay, so there's our question. Car traveled 2781 miles on 105.34 gallons of gas. What is the car's fuel efficiency in miles per gallon? Display the value to two decimal places. Consider using two variables named gallons and miles. All right, well, that seems easy enough. Let's get started on that. So I'm going to make two variables. We want to use two decimal places, so we're going to be dealing with a float for sure. And we're provided with a float right there. So I'm going to make a float variable. And it's suggested calling it gallons and miles. So we'll do that. We're going to make a float variable gallons, and we're going to set it equal to 105.34. Okay, and then we're going to make an integer variable for miles, which is fine. Okay, and it's set equal to 2781. All right, sweet. And then we're going to need an output. We are looking for MPG. So I'm going to make a float variable, and I'm going to call it MPG. And MPG is going to be equal to the miles divided by the gallons. and then we have to output the data. So let's do a serial.print, and there's those parentheses, and I want to echo the variables, so I'm just going to copy this sentence right here. I'm going to put it in here. And a car that traveled, let's see, a car that travels, change that to travels, and we're going to say gets XXX MPG. Okay, and what it is it's going to be this, but we have to cast it as a string. So let me do that. And of course we're going to need to close that off. And we're going to need a plus sign. And let me just drag this out. And then of course we're going to need a plus sign on this side and another quote. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to paste it right here and right here, and we're going to replace this with miles, and I'm going to replace this with gallons. Okay, and that looks pretty good. So let's save as, and I'm going to call this arg demo for arguments, and let's upload it. Nope, we're going to have to call it, and then I don't want this thing to run over and over again, so I'm going to create some kind of a infinite loop. Okay. So let's run this one time and see what we get. Okay, cool. So a car that travels 2,781 miles on 105 gallons of gas gets 26.4 miles per gallon. Okay, piece of cake. So now let's do it ever so slightly different. Okay, and this is actually going to be really important in robotics. I'm going to add a period there. Because now what I want to do is I don't want it to be created in here. I want to be able to pass information down to a function so I can reuse the function from anywhere. Okay, so I can call it from any location, update it to what information I need, and then just run it. Okay, and it'll become clear when I actually do it. So let's do it. Okay, we're going to take this and we're going to paste it right below, and we're going to call it demo2, and I'm actually going to delete the question just because we don't need the space. And what I want to do is, just like you've seen before on those other examples, like for example the skiff, okay, where we had this information inside those parentheses, we're going to create a the same sort of circumstance. So I'm going to take this variable right here, and I'm going to stick it in the parentheses, and then I'm going to comma, and then I'm going to take this variable right here, and I'm going to stick it inside the parentheses. Okay, so now I can delete this because I've created the variables inside these parentheses. And now when I go up here and I call it, I can put in a piece of information, like for example these miles. Oops, I go with gallons first. Gotta follow sequence. Okay, so gallons is the first one, so I'm going to put my gallons in there. and then a comma, and then I'm going to put the miles in there. Okay, so now I have my function, and I put my two data sets in there. When I load this, make sure I'm running demo 2, you're going to see that the information gets passed right on down. So I get the exact same thing. I get the exact same response, but now I put the information up here in the call. Okay, so if I was driving a Prius, for example, and I only used 50 gallons, okay, and now when I run it, you're going to see that I'll get a different outcome. Okay, that rewrites the entire sentence, updates the information in real time, so now it's all active, and it gives me the new answer. All right, so this makes it super easy to reuse a function. So I can call a function from another function. So let's say, for example, I got analog reading something. I can have that put directly into these parentheses, and it gets passed down. So when I call demo 2, this number right here gets passed into this variable right here, which is created right here. Okay, and this number right here gets passed into this variable here, and those variables work their way down within the function. Okay, does that make sense? I hope. Let me pause it and think about one other quick demo. Okay, let's see if I can do this in 4 minutes or less. So I'm going to come up here, and here's the skiff, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it right there. Okay, and then I'm going to make a demo 3. I'm going to call it, and then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to make a demo 3. And we're going to call it demo 3, and demo 3, and I'm going to just make it a basic function, nothing fancy, and let's get rid of that. Okay, and let's delete a big chunk of this. Alright, and we'll keep it simple. Enter gallons. Okay, and then I'm going to make a float variable. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Let's just call it gal. Jeez, Brian. And we're going to make it equal to read. Oops, actually I'm going to copy it over here. We want to something like this. And we're going to read float. Okay. And then I'm going to copy this and paste it. And enter miles. And we're going to make that an integer. And we'll call it just like mi for miles. And we want to make this, oh, I misspelled float. Okay. And then all we have to do is call the function. Notice this time I'm going to call the function from inside a function. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I want to pass the variable gallons and the variable mile. Okay, and I'm going to pause this video and upload it. Okay, so now we can put in some gallons. And we can put in some miles, and it'll automatically calculate it. So there you go. Have a good one.